Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. My name is Joseph Caswell. I'm a certified SOLIDWORKS expert and your technical solutions resource. Let's take a look at what SOLIDWORKS has in store for us in 2023. SOLIDWORKS 2023 has several new enhancements to make designing models faster and less error-prone, including inscribing text, library features, defining ellipses, using equations, and defeaturing parts. Let's take a look.
SOLIDWORKS is the most feature-rich CAD solution available, but that doesn't mean significant improvements can't be made. SOLIDWORKS 2023 focuses on expanding the capabilities of existing features to make you more productive. Inscribing information such as serial number or model names into cylindrical surfaces is best done with single-line fonts. SOLIDWORKS 2023 allows you to scribe these fonts using the wrap feature. Adding the DVT logo to the end of this handle is easy with library features. Just drag and drop. However, in some situations a reference may not be valid or otherwise broken. In 2023, you now have the option to keep the feature and solve the issue manually rather than having to cancel the action, edit the library feature, and reapply. This design is a good start, but the smooth surface may not provide enough grip for the rider. Let's create a pattern of ellipse-shaped bosses to give the rider confidence when traveling over even the most extreme terrain. In SOLIDWORKS 2023, you can now create ellipses with construction geometry, making orientation effortless by selecting a construction line, then choosing the appropriate relation. Fully defining the ellipse is now easier too, since you don't have to select multiple points to define the major and minor axes. Creating an offset body is easy in SOLIDWORKS, but how far along the handle should we replace it? Since we're creating a pattern of these bodies, it would be best to define the parameter based on a global variable that also defines the spacing of the instances. In SOLIDWORKS 2023, the Move Copy Bodies command can now define the translation and rotation of bodies with equations, even on a per configuration basis. A design like this tends to be iterative, so having convenient access to these parameters will save time. Using these equations and variables in several features allows us to make broad changes without having to edit each individual feature. Finally, reducing part complexity and protecting intellectual property are a great use of the defeature tool. But in some cases, you may not want to create a whole new part that will need to be managed, stored, or otherwise lifecycle managed with the PDM system. SOLIDWORKS 2023 Service Pack 1 will allow you to create a configuration of your defeatured parts, which can be useful for creating simplified versions. And since it's a derived configuration, it will adopt changes made to its parent configuration. Also, replacing the complex version of this component in the assembly no longer requires selecting a new part and reattaching mates. Simply select the configuration from the drop-down menu. SOLIDWORKS is the most feature-rich CAD system, and now these features are even better with this latest release. Whether you're sketching, inscribing text, or working with bodies, these tools are even more flexible, giving you more ways to increase your productivity than ever. Saving your data to the 3D Experience platform allows you to do much more with it. You'll have access to tools like advanced analysis with Simulio, complex material models, highly accurate solvers, and powerful cloud technology that dramatically reduces solve time. This means you can make better designs faster with the 3D Experience platform.
In previous versions of SOLIDWORKS, body rotation was sequential. In other words, it was first rotated about X, then Y, then the Z-axis. This can be counterintuitive when changing dimensions. Now, in 2023, SOLIDWORKS has implemented the Euler's method, implementing linear algebra to calculate all three rotation values simultaneously. This lends itself to being able to drive these values in configurations and design tables with less errors. Knowing which licenses are close to expiring is necessary to avoid unplanned downtime. SOLIDWORKS 2023 will prompt you when your term licenses are about to expire, including add-ins, PDM, and SOLIDWORKS Manage. The SNL Manager makes this information much more visible. An asterisk indicates that the term license needs to be renewed through us as your reseller, and red text indicates that the license needs to be renewed or reactivated. Also, adding and removing licenses is much easier with these convenient buttons. No need to go to the Windows settings to modify the installation. The convenient serial number dropdown filters the results so you know which licenses are effective. SOLIDWORKS Standard comes with a full toolset for creating and working with sheet metal parts. These features got even more clever and useful in 2023. We'll take a look at new sheet metal sensors, symmetrical thickness, gauge values and cutless properties, applying corner treatments to all similar corners, configuration-specific weldment members, and patterning connection elements.
SOLIDWORKS structure systems and sheet metal have new enhancements in 2023 that enable smoother design-to-manufacturing workflows and speed up tedious tasks. This track setting machine has a hydraulic guard that needs to be extended to further protect these couplings from heavy equipment and falling debris during operation. Opening this sheet metal part, we can easily extend the front of the part 2 inches to cover the coupling. But notice, when making this change, a warning popped up in the tree. New for SOLIDWORKS Sheet Metal 2023, sheet metal specific sensors can be created to dynamically warn you if the flat pattern of the sheet metal part exceeds width, length, area, or bounding box area blank values. This new feature saves redesign time and catches costly mistakes, so your sheet metal parts will sail through manufacturing. By reducing the outer dimension of this part, the warning goes away. When this part was originally created, a sketch was used to create the initial base flange where all bends were dimensioned equally. But when accounting for material thickness, it results in different radii for the inside and outside corners. And that's a problem for manufacturing, since this requires additional machine setup. Now, in SOLIDWORKS 2023, we can choose the new symmetrical option, which will ensure an identical inside and outside resultant bend radius. We use the gauge table for this sheet metal part, and now, in the drawing, the gauge table can be added directly to the cutless properties, preventing the need to create any global variables or equations. As we're preparing to ship the machine, we'll need to build a sturdy, reusable shipping crate to prevent damage while transporting from job site to job site. SOLIDWORKS Structure Systems was used to build this steel crate from a combination of 3D sketches for primary members and reference planes for secondary members. By default, all of these corners are mitered, which is great for some applications, but for this crate, we'll need to change the corner treatments to make it easier to build. New in SOLIDWORKS 2023 Structure Systems, we can now automatically group similar corners to apply the same corner treatment. These purple arrows identify which corners will belong to the group. Using the new Zoom to Selection command, we can verify that the trim order is exactly what we want. To strengthen the corners, we'll add a connection element like this gusset. New in 2023, these can be patterned to similar corners. Again, the purple arrows identify where the patterned gussets will go, automating the structural design process and saving time. We may want to build a more durable crate with a larger square tube stop. New in Structure Systems 2023, we can now change the weldment profile for a select set of members and save that to a unique configuration. SOLIDWORKS Sheet Metal and Structure Systems in 2023 accelerates your design to manufacturing workflow and adds new features that every shop floor operator will enjoy. And when you connect your designs to the 3D Experience platform, sharing your work with other users or across teams is easier than ever.
Assemblies are a quintessential part of SOLIDWORKS. Throughout the years, many enhancements and options have been added to extend top-level design and assembly performance. 2023 is no exception. Let's take a look at how it has enhanced existing features and modes, as well as a brand new feature, Auto Repair Mates. Through the years, SOLIDWORKS assemblies have brought intuitive and efficient workflow capabilities that help bring your complex models to life. SOLIDWORKS 2023 expands on new assembly enhancements and continues to accelerate performance. Let's dive in and explore some of these inspiring new capabilities. Creating assembly patterns is a common time-saving practice. Patterns such as this linear pattern often require some instances to be skipped with differing variations. The traditional workflow would need multiple pattern features or instances to be suppressed and unsuppressed depending on the desired configuration. In SOLIDWORKS 2023, this is no longer the case. Any pattern type that supports skipped instances now supports configurations, offering a much more direct way to modify you. With cost being a consideration, having a rubberized wheel might be a better option than the current ball bearing selection. Using the Replace Component command is a simple way to swap out existing parts, and now you'll see additional options have been added. SOLIDWORKS 2023 welcomes the ability to replace a single component, multiple components in the current assembly, and the current behavior of the assembly and subassembly levels. You'll also see a new preview window giving direct visual feedback, ensuring accurate component replacement every time. During the Replace command, a rebuild error occurs due to a failed concentric mate. Mismatched face IDs can often lead to lost productivity during assembly design. With SOLIDWORKS 2023, you'll be excited to see a new auto repair feature built into the context toolbar or located with the right mouse button on the mate group. Auto repair will automatically look for similar face, edge, vertex, or reference geometry and attempt to reattach any dangling references. This is a huge time saver for keeping your mates error-free. With multiple configurations included in this assembly, you'll want to ensure the bill of materials appropriately reflects each instance. In previous versions of SOLIDWORKS, this option could be set in the configuration or bill of materials property, a manual and often overlooked process. SOLIDWORKS 2023 offers a new document property type, allowing configurations to be used as the default BOM number. Enabling this option will make certain your configurations are accurately reflected. To allow for proper assembly of the manufactured model, an assembly level cut will be needed to assist in accessing some key fasteners. New in SOLIDWORKS 2023, assembly cuts include the same end conditions as seen at the part level, expanding flexibility to your design intent. In this case, adding an up-to surface will automate the exact cut depth regardless of any changes to the conveyor's geometry. Using a box select will gather all intersecting parts to be included in the cut, which includes some toolbox components. This could lead to some issues downstream with the Propagate to Parts option checked. New in SOLIDWORKS 2023, toolbox components are automatically removed from this list and a notification is shown, giving you an extra level of security to your shared toolbox library. Taking a look at the conveyor assembly, multiple configurations have been created. To speed up the layout process, magnetic mates have also been defined, but depending on which configuration, different magnetic connection points may or may not be needed. SOLIDWORKS 2023 adds new functionality to magnetic mates by allowing you to suppress and unsuppress individual connection points. This new feature brings extended functionality to an already powerful way to approach your assembly process. Even with configured magnetic connections, getting the right placement can sometimes be a tedious task. In SOLIDWORKS 2023, magnetic connection points respect the visibility of the part or assembly they are attached to. Using hide, isolate, and display states helps you focus on the areas where new connections are taking place. Assembly visualization offers a dynamic way to display and sort information about your assembly. In 2023, additional support for lightweight mode is introduced, no longer requiring you to resolve components for properties such as mass and total weight. The properties drop-down list has also been updated to an alphabetical order, a more intuitive way to locate commonly used properties, such as graphic triangles. You'll also notice that the rollback bar has also been thickened to make for a much easier mouse selection. As you can see, this assembly is starting to grow in complexity, which can impact overall performance. SOLIDWORKS 2023 simplifies working with large assemblies with a new system option. Enabling this improves performance by selectively using lightweight technology when you load components in resolve mode, taking out the manual process of switching between the two. With this new option available, you can spend more time focusing on your design and less time managing large assembly modes. Large assemblies can also introduce issues when working with external vendors through neutral file types, such as the commonly used step format. SOLIDWORKS 2023 now supports exporting assemblies as multiple step files through a new system option. With this enabled, step files for the top level, subassembly, and individual parts are created, introducing a more streamlined approach when collaborating for neutral file types. Whether you're building simple or complex assemblies, SOLIDWORKS 2023 offers an array of new enhancements to ensure your job can be done as efficiently as possible. And make sure to check out how connecting your assembly designs to the 3D Experience platform can extend value to other users and stakeholders beyond the design interface.
To add to what Joseph was talking about, one of the most exciting new enhancements in 2023 is the option to enable an optimized resolved mode. This feature allows SOLIDWORKS to choose between lightweight and resolved technologies, automatically selecting the appropriate settings to allow for optimal performance with no end-user interaction. To take a look at a possible increased performance, a benchmark of a 11,000 component assembly was used. Infinite workflows could be identified to test these performance enhancements, so one had to be chosen. In this case, 4 subassemblies deep presented a rebuild error due to a misordered equation set. Loading the assembly, identifying this issue, and resolving the problem would require multiple lightweight to resolve operations, as we will see in 2022. This same workflow was tested in 2023 with both optimized resolve mode and lightweight operations, and what we found is 2022 open times fully resolved on an AMD Ryzen 7 and RTX A6000 GPU gave a rough time at around 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Because the assembly was fully resolved on open, the rebuild error was easily traced to 4 levels deep. To open, locate, and edit this subassembly, time is shy of 2 minutes and 40 seconds. After the equation order was repaired, exiting out of the editing the subassembly, final time about 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Using lightweight mode present many performance benefits, but can also introduce some issues, as having a fully resolved model, such as having to manually track down rebuild errors. Upon opening, we get an error noting that there is a warning, but we'll need to drill down a bit further. Opening the next subassembly loads it resolved. This was introduced in 2022. You are still required to resolve the subassemblies at this level to find the rebuild error. Fast to open, but can bottleneck workflows downstream. Opening fully resolved identifies and makes it easy to trace any issue, but at the expense of opening, loading, and performance degradation. Now, introduce 2023 Optimize Resolved Mode. Truly the best of both worlds. Any underlying issue will automatically resolve its parent assembly all the way up as needed. Taking a look at the final times and comparing a resolved workflow from last year to this year. The performance is quite incredible.
Next up, we'll take a look at new enhancements in drawings, including opening component drawings from an assembly drawing, customizing bill of material override colors, auto balloon quantities, transparency in drawings, and my personal favorite new feature, bill of materials filters.
Documenting your designs means making drawings, and the more complex your products become, the more detailing is required. Enhancements to drawings in SOLIDWORKS 2023 will help you create drawings with more automation, higher accuracy, and expanded utility so you can get your designs built right the first time. You can now open the associated drawings of parts and subassemblies right from within a higher level drawing, whether you select from the Feature Manager, from a table, or directly from the graphics area. This will help you navigate a product structure without having to locate or open the reference part or assembly models. It's common to make manual overrides to a bill of material table, but how do you know which cells have been modified? Now, when a table is selected, any overridden items display with a user-defined highlight color, possibly preventing a costly error. You can restore original values individually, by row or column, or reset the entire table at once. Auto balloons can now show quantities outside the balloon. This option was previously only supported for manual balloons. This enhancement improves automation and provides greater formatting control when detailing assembly items. New for 2023, the bill of material can be filtered with familiar spreadsheet-style controls. Icons in the table header indicate where filters are applied, and they can be removed just as easily. The integrated search bar narrows down a lengthy column of values, and custom filters can be defined with conditional logic. Say you need a custom bill of material, such as a part list of purchased hardware. Your filter criteria combines across multiple columns. Just like you'd expect, any existing auto balloons update to match their filtered table with no manual editing required. The resulting table can be saved to common formats, so you can create and share on-the-fly tables that extend the utility of your drawings. Visualizing transparent objects in a drawing view just got easier with a new detailing option to see through transparent components or bodies. This can be enabled on a view-by-view basis or set as a document-level option that will apply to any newly added views. Anything behind a transparent object will be shown with visible edges, so you can create drawings with even more detail and clarity. Complete and accurate documentation is essential to getting your designs built right the first time. Enhancements to drawings in SOLIDWORKS 2023 will help you accomplish your detailing tasks faster and communicate your design intent even more efficiently. And with SOLIDWORKS connected to the 3D Experience platform, secure cloud data management is built in, so your most crucial information is always up to date, accessible, and ready for your team to engage with. All of this puts you that much closer to the perfect build. There's no more effective way to share your ideas than with eye-catching graphics. And there's no faster way to create them than with SOLIDWORKS Visualize 2023. Visualize has set the bar for creating incredible graphics from your CAD models, and for this release, the whole process just got even easier. Enhancements in Visualize 2023 start from the beginning of the process. Selecting an import option is an important step that sets your project up for your desired purpose. Visualize 2023 accelerates this process by filtering for only the most applicable options for SOLIDWORKS files. This simplifies our decision to a single question. Do we want the individual control that component, part, body provides, or the convenience of grouping all same appearances into a single part? The component, part, body option works in a similar fashion to the automatic mode of past releases, but has been updated for this release with one important distinction. This import option now mimics the SOLIDWORKS assembly structure while retaining appearance control in Visualize. This is an ideal situation, as Visualize users can take better advantage of groupings, such as subassemblies, already defined in the SOLIDWORKS model. Putting your designs in context can go a long way in immersing your viewer in your world. Visualize has always been able to take advantage of nearly any kind of geometry you can get your hands on. In 2023, we'll see that the standard import options are still available for any non-SOLIDWORKS files, such as this GLTF file. It's common practice to improve performance by making use of preview mode while setting up our scene, especially if it involves complex, high-detail models. However, this can result in a lack of feedback on how our setup is interacting with the lighting. In Visualize 2023, the handling of PBR material previews has been improved, providing a much better idea of how light will react with roughness maps, alpha transparency, and the like. We see light from the HDR glistening off of the wet spots of our trail model, allowing us to be much more confident in our setup while still enjoying the performance benefits of preview mode. Any advanced PBR options, such as height maps, will be added on top when rendering resumes. A common use case for rendering is to create a colorway, showing a variety of potential color options. Visualize is packed with efficiency tools for this kind of work. As it always has, the Appearance Import option groups all same appearances into a single unit. Likewise, a quick pattern creates an array of geometry ready with little effort. Nothing new there, but now comes the hard part. Tracking down all the necessary colors, codes, swatches, and references, and trying to match them all in Visualize. With a dramatically improved color picker, this is likely now the easiest part of the process. With this update, we can bring in colors from nearly every source you can think of. A dedicated tab for color palettes has been added along with a few default palettes. Custom palettes can be imported directly from SOLIDWORKS, from an Adobe ACO file, a logo, such as a vector file, or from a web page CSS or HTML file. Whatever you have access to, you'll be able to extract company or project-specific colors directly into Visualize with a click. Once imported, you'll have full control over your palettes as well. Searchable names are present, and the swatches can be applied immediately. The color dialog now undocks and remains available for subsequent actions until it is closed. In cases where colors are not available to be imported, they can be added in a similar fashion to previous releases. On the Color tab, color can be selected with the graphical display, and the hue slider is now present in RGB as well as HSV. The ability to simply paste a hex code has now been added, as well as CMYK definition for print applications. As always, the color picker itself can be used to select a value anywhere on screen, and its color preview has been enlarged for greater accuracy when selecting. With the color chosen, we can add the swatch to our palette and lock the palette to prevent any further changes. Palettes can be exported as a shared asset across users or imported back into SOLIDWORKS so that accurate colors can be applied in the design phase. The previous 8 color selections will also remain in recent colors across all sessions. This dramatically enhanced color management system ensures that your exact color is never more than a few clicks away. The color matched appearances are now ready to be applied to the pattern, and the Appearance Import option provides a simple drag replacement of all bodywork appearances. With the scene set, it's time for final renders. Visualize 2023 introduces a brand new, custom-made rendering image with a stellar, physically correct option. This is a welcome addition as it sets up Visualize for a future of exciting new features and tighter integration with the entire portfolio of pros. Of course, stunning graphics are meant to be shared. Once the renderings are complete, they can be immediately uploaded to the 3D Experience platform for the rest of the team to enjoy and provide feedback. This release brings a host of tangible benefits that are guaranteed to reduce the time it takes to produce engaging content for sales, marketing, websites, and social media campaigns. The time has never been better to bring your CAD models to life than with SOLIDWORKS Visualize.